Hi, I'm Dave Hall with the Silent Warrior Foundation. If you've been watching our videos, you know that we're a 501c3 charity and we have a annual Whiskey and War Stories fundraiser coming up, and the theme this year is Operation Eagle Claw. We just did a video on one of the jackets that was actually used on the mission, and that kind of spawned some more talk about it. And we're here with retired Sergeant Major Phil Hanson. Phil was a participant on Operation Eagle Claw. Retired Delta Force operator, and he reached out to me. We started talking and he said, hey, I got some stuff that you might want to see and I'm willing to talk you through it. Here we are. This is Phil's original jacket from the mission. And Phil, can you just take us through and give us some of the features here and go through the pockets?
Sure.
This is amazing. What you see is not what you get. Trust me on that. You're about to see some crazy stuff.
So each operator was able to modify after the jackets were dyed. We didn't want the green, and some of the green had faded out to be more bright, so we wanted something that would blend in with the dark. So we started out with these jackets early on, and we dyed them black. And then as the mission progressed and we got other things modified. Now, different guys wore different ones. On my left shoulder, we had the American flag. This is not the original flag. The original flag I actually took off and it's in a display doing that, but I actually had Velcro in so we could display those. Some people covered them with tape, as I said. Each jacket was kind of unique to itself. On the collar, you can see here, we had loops attached to the collar. These were actually for the necklace line that
string on the PVS5.
String on the PVS5. So if you took off the PVS5s and dropped them down in front of you, they would be in and you wouldn't lose them. One of the other modifications some of the guys did was the collars were modified, and you could actually go through here and some of those to put flex ties in, should somebody have to be tied up. Object common to all in all of those, top left jacket, everybody carried a tourniquet. This is my old military tourniquet. The rubber band that held it together has since deteriorated and rotted away, but it was in the top left hand. In addition to that, in my pocket I carried a new cravat, ammonia capsule in case somebody got knocked out, and a large pressure dressing. Those were carried in that pocket of this, and the tourniquet and usually the bandage were common to everybody on the mission who was wearing a black jacket.
And can you show us those keepers you had for the grease gun mags?
Yeah, my weapon, I carried a suppressed grease gun with the barrel on it. Mounted underneath this grease gun was a streamlight held on with hose clamps, which I can show you here, and balsa wood. The reason we use balsa wood is as you tighten the hose clamps, by tightening the hose clamps you could adjust the beam of the light. And mine actually had a improvised homemade IR lens, because we couldn't get IR lenses for them at the time, and had that IR lens in. When you were training around and moving around with the grease gun, of course you didn't want a magazine in it. So what I had was on the inside of the pockets here, I'll pull this one out and show you. This was adjusted so I could put a grease gun magazine in this pocket to just keep the magazine there if I needed it. And if we were doing it, loaded magazines were kept in a different location. This pocket also was modified with the elastic sewn on by our rigger staff that did that. That's essentially, other pockets carried other gear that you would need.
So if your study of the Eagle Claw and you've seen the pictures, there always seems to be something missing. Like, where's all the rest of the gear? When Phil handed me this jacket downstairs before we set this up, I felt like the weight of the world was in the jacket, and now you're gonna see why.
So, my jacket was modified. I had on the left and right side magazines inserted for 45, my 45 1911. They would go into the pouches up here. And I had another 2 magazines over here on this side. Down below on both sides I had a total of 10 grease gun magazines on each side. Here I only have 3 because that's all I've got left, and these have been modified slightly to fit my Mac 10. But as you can see, they got bumped into a lot of things and well worn. But the total jacket, when I was loaded and ready for the op, weighed between 75 and 80 pounds. In some of the pictures you'll see of Eagle Claw, you'll see guys carrying ropes, and that is a result of some exercises we did prior to Eagle Claw, and we realized we may need a rope. The rope may be used to carry a wounded comrade, make a circle out of it, cross it across your chest, and put them on back, and you still left your hands free, where you might not have all your hands free if you were doing a fireman carry. So instead of just slinging it over my shoulder or doing something, I actually had our riggers put nylon tape, sew it down, and then used rubber bands to secure my Swiss seat size, a little bit oversized, nylon rope here. Additionally, we found out that we may have to drag somebody. If somebody was wounded, drag them somewhere. Some of the guys went ahead and had tubular tape put on to form like a little H harness, but at the top they had so you could reach inside the guy's collar in the back. It was out of the way, and actually drag him. I chose not to do that on mine because I had the rope. The other thing we found out in the exercise was some of the guys, if you drug them on the ground, they're going to wear out their jacket. So one of the things we did, and it will show here before we turn the jacket over, this is a piece of canvas that also helped make the pockets in the back, but it also served as extra padding if you had to be drugged so you wouldn't take the skin off the cheeks of your ass. So that's kind of the inside of the jacket.
All right, let's flip her around. Let's check out the back.
Okay, the back of the jacket. This is a 2-quart canteen pouch that was modified. I took the old patch off of here. You can see the round where the old, I used it to carry a protective mask. We thought we might be facing tear gas or something in some situations over there. So essentially it's just a dyed 2-quart canteen pouch. This one, to keep it attached, I couldn't figure out how to keep it attached, so I went and saw our rigger staff, and we put the heavy duty snaps
like the pull-to-dot one.
Yeah, they're pull-to-dot snaps. So we put the snaps on and put those on the back. On mine, I had 2 pockets for extra gear. One of them carried my E&E money that we were issued later on to E&E, and the other I kept other equipment in that we might need. But that essentially was the jacket. Got all the snaps. I put snaps on originally and it wouldn't hold it on in some of the violent stuff we were doing, so I had to come back and modify again and put some more snaps on. But and then if I needed to E&E or something, I could just pull this off and ditch it, and it didn't look that bad from the back. It didn't look like you were carrying a bag, and I didn't have to sling anything else over my shoulders or anything else.
So some questions that I've been asked online, and I think you have too. Maybe you can answer some of them. So, who dyed the jackets? Did you all dye your own jackets, or was there an assembly line situation?
Some of us dyed our own jackets. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of laundromats had some machines in Fayetteville area almost destroyed because you know, the hotter the water was, the better the dye took.
Yeah.
You know, and then not all the dye went away. You need to run a couple rinse cycles before you did that. But no, at the unit we had at that time, there were no washing machines or anything available. So one of the things we always kept on hand as an operator is a couple boxes of I think Ritz black dye, and a bottle of leather dye, Kiwi black leather dye, you know, and we had a joke a long time ago that if it was black and had Velcro on it, you could sell it to the unit. but
So another question I think a lot of people have is, how come there aren't very many of these left?
To my recollection, everybody modified theirs different. We actually took photographs of basic modifications and stuff. But it was my understanding when we came back, we were told to turn these in. I had a spare black jacket that I had dyed, and I actually turned that jacket in and kept this jacket. Everybody else, majority of the jackets were turned in, and they ended up at DRMO. In fact, I got an email from a guy the other day who said he was, his friend was working at DRMO when this big box of the jackets came in. And he said those had to be the ones used in Iran, so he went over and cut a flag off as a memento.
I saw somebody comment on Facebook about that.
That he'd cut them off. But Colonel Beckwith, at the time, the command said, turn the jackets in, and the pictures that were taken during that time, for whatever reason, Colonel Beckwith said we need to destroy those pictures and those things. However, there are a few pictures that did survive, but the pictures of the jackets that were taken by the unit photographer, as far as I know, those were destroyed and kind of disappeared and went away.
Wow.
As did, there was a real good picture of the entire unit in Yuma out by a big campfire, and I only know of one existing picture of that. It was a slide, and I believe one of the operators had that, and who I won't name here, but that was a great picture, but the original to that kind of disappeared, and you can't really make a quality out of what he's got. But
well, Phil, thank you for making this available, for opening your house to us. This is incredible. It's just funny how it's just something as common as an M65 field jacket has really become iconic with the mission and with the organization. And since so few of them survive, this is the second actual original one that I've touched and held. And I've seen, you mentioned the guy that the first time I saw one, and you just walked by and he had pockets all over it up at a training place that we were at, and I was like, that guy must be a unit guy. But they just seem so scarce, and it's kind of cool to bring it out now, 41 years later, to talk about it and all of the unique features. If you like this, stay tuned, because we're going to do a part 2. Phil says he's got a couple other items around here that were with him on the operation as well, and we're going to go through those next.